They're claiming that for the low price of whatever 99, you can earn $50,000, $100,000, maybe even $300,000 in trading funding. It can't be real, can it? Is it a scam? Well, technically, no, but it can be a pretty slippery slope. And if you want to have the advantage with these guys, you've got to know what you're working with. So let's talk about it. And if you enjoy this video and a great deal, I have a link tree with coupon codes and links to get you a great deal while supporting the channel at no additional cost to you. And you can also become a channel member if you'd like. I'm a self-funded trader and I started in options, ended up using some of those proceeds to fund a small $2,000-ish futures account when I first started with futures. And in a lot of ways, it's more powerful than a 50K account. And we'll talk about exactly why, along with how you can take advantage of them without being taken advantage of. It really can be a slippery slope, and we'll get to all of that. But first, I think it's really important to understand the business model and what these firms really are. So back in the 1980s and 90s, some really great groups of traders like Tudor Investments or Gelbler Group ran proprietary trading desks. In the 80s, most were in the pits, floor trading in Chicago, and these firms would give traders a portion of the firm's capital to trade with, and in exchange, they had some pretty strict risk rules. Traders traded real positions in the real live market, and profits were split, and if the trader lost money, the firm would also. The firm trained their students on specific strategies that fit the risk model, and these traders would hopefully graduate from a beginner clerk up to a junior trader and potentially all the way up to a partner. In the 90s, things moved to electronics, and new versions of these firms popped up off of the floor and in some offices. Traders were typically paid a small monthly salary advance, plus a percentage of the profits. Generally, this was in the firm's favor, especially when they were starting out. But as they got going, prop shop traders had the potential to make millions. So fast forward to now, and internet prop firms are a dime a dozen, and they're making loads of promises. Their marketing can certainly sound scammy and unbelievable, but there is some real potential to make some real income from today's online prop firms. But understand that most prop firm customers don't. And that's part of the point. These days, you're a customer and not an employee. There's no job training, and rules are offered, but not strategies that fit within those rules. So when I say it's a slippery slope, it's because a lot of traders never get net positive on what they've invested in their prop evaluations. And the biggest danger isn't the rules, it's that prop firms make it incredibly easy to just keep trying. Instead of becoming a trader, a lot of the times you can end up becoming a gambler. And before you know it, thousands are invested in challenges with absolutely nothing to show. And thousands can fund a futures account with no rules, no downtime, and no profit split. I'll explain the math on that right after I finish this thought on how today's prop firms operate. But look, prop firms exist because profitable traders are incredibly rare. These days, internet prop firms are all looking to set themselves apart, but they're really all offering the same basic idea. There is some firm funding, real firm funds, but a very tiny percentage of traders ever actually get access to trade it. So no matter what they call it or how it's presented, there are really three phases of prop trading, three kinds of accounts. So most of the payouts that you see online are actually coming from sim-funded accounts, not live funded. That means these trades aren't actually going into the real market. When you start with a prop firm, first you always have an evaluation challenge. And this is literally a test in a sim trading account where trades are simulated based on the live market data, but they're never put in the real market. It's mostly realistic, and it can show the firm if you're worthy of potential funding, and you pay an evaluation fee or an account fee, however you want to call it, for the pleasure of doing that. You won't ever see any profits from any of these trades because these evaluation accounts are really literally just to test your skills. So if you earn the profit target in the time frame under the risk restraints in the time allowed, you earn the funded account. And I say funded account because the next stage is another simulation account. But it's funded because you have the potential to earn real money out of it. So firms like Take Profit Trader a lot of times will add some additional rules to make it even harder to get past that second stage and on to the third. So a lot of times you have to reach some extra benchmarks like 5 days of at least $200 profit and get over a threshold, and you can only withdraw a fraction of the balance, and then there's your profit split on top of it. So how do they pay you out of an account that doesn't actually exist or trade in the live market? They don't. They pay you out of the healthy amount of deposits that they get every day from traders' evaluation fees and resets, because there's a lot of them, and most of these accounts do not get passed. And there's plenty from that pot to share with the few that actually get payouts at this stage. They don't like to give us the numbers, but from the few stats that have come out, it's clearly a strong majority that don't get those payouts. It could easily be 90 or more. And this probably depends on the firm for a little bit. Apex, for example, has been known to offer some really cheap accounts with some pretty loosey-goosey risk requirements, and it encourages the burning and churning accounts with all of these max risk gambler types. And they've been trying to move away from that model recently with a new account lineup, and the traders have not all been loving the new plans, but maybe that's just the gamblers. But so far, we've talked about the evaluation sim account and the sim funded account. So that last third stage is the live funded. And this is actually a real brokerage account with actual real funds in the real live market. Like, it's real brokerage account. And the firm will still have a lot of limits set. And it's set up for you to actually take payouts when you reach benchmarks, and your payouts are going to come out of the profits. And you can take real payouts with your profit split when you reach these benchmarks. You're never going to earn really anywhere nearly close to 100% of your trades, because after the profit split and the buffers and evaluation trading and then withdrawal limits, it's going to end up being a lot less than the 80 or 90% split that they're advertising. But this is real trading with real money, and the firm will split it with you. So these accounts tend to be a little bit different, and this is where this will really explain a lot. So a 50K evaluation account may have just $2,000 of drawdown. Hopefully it's end of day, but it could even trail with your live account balance while you're in trades, which effectively shrinks that drawdown down every single time you don't close a trade at peak profit. Super realistic for a new trader without funding, right? And that's the point. So while it may not technically be a scam, it isn't not predatory, you know? So when you move to a sim funded, that 50K account will still be 50K with that tiny drawdown. But when you're moved to a live funded, you're given what they actually trust you with, which tends to be around the range that your drawdown was. So like 2K, not 50K. Weird how that happens. But let's talk about the live futures account and how that works. So If you choose a broker that requires the full CME margin, that would be all the traditional brokers that allow futures trading like Interactive Brokers and Fidelity, all of that sort of thing. You'll need tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital in order to place trades with a few ES or NQE minis. But if you use a specialized futures broker, they offer special day margin for day traders. So this lets you control a full ES E-mini with a notional value of 50 times the ES for less than $1,000. Seriously. The S&P futures are around 6,800 right now, so the notional value of one ES contract is around $340,000. And Tradeovate, a popular broker for both the prop firms and retail future traders, lets you control that with $500 as long as you don't hold it over close. So prop firms let you throw around 3 or 15 of those in a $2,000 sim account, and then their customers are wondering why it's so hard to pass. So knowing all of this, how can we beat the system? Obviously, we still need a solid trading setup and a system of rules. That can be as simple or complicated as we make it. But know that some of the most successful traders that I know keep it stupid simple. But we also need to know what internet prop firms are and how they work. We need to actually read the rules and keep up with them. We need to be prepared for downtime with prop firms when we're passing our evaluations or lose accounts. So here's what I do. Or at least what I plan to do, because let's face it, even Bull Barbie isn't perfect every time. But so we have a plan for how much we're going to spend on prop firms and how we will trade them before we buy with code Bull Barbie or Bull Barbie 69. And at least consider working on funding a live account of your own outside of props, because that's the only way to really avoid the downtime and crazy withdrawal splits and all of the rules that are really designed to catch you up. Discipline is the number one skill for traders, so carry that over to your prop firm trading plan as well, because prop trading is a strategy of its own and deserves its own planning before you throw funding at it. So how many trading sessions do you typically conservatively trade in a month? What is the profit target divided by the number of days? It's probably not what you've been trying to go after with your $2,000 drawdown slapping $340,000 ES contracts, or worse, the 20x $500,000 NASDAQ contracts. You might need to relax. Think about using micros. We all want to use the minis, but that's really literally just our ego talking. Funds with millions of dollars to day trade use micros. Just look at the volume. And honestly, it's between you and your screen if you're in micros or minis. You've got nothing to prove. If the drawdown keeps catching you, size down to micros. And don't forget that you don't have to size down by 1/10. That'll be in the comments, I promise. You can use 3 micros, 5 micros, 7 micros, whatever. However many total points fit inside your max risk. The clowns who are throwing max contracts at anything are getting paid to make a show of it, not from their trading profits. Trust me, I know these guys and gals. Be extra cautious when you move on to that sim funded stage, and know that you have a little bit of a target on your back because you're being paid out of the firm's profits. If you are a really great trader, they'll want you trading real funds so they can earn more money on it. And if you're not, they want you to start all over again as soon as possible before they have to pay you out too much. So people act like these firms are evil because they limit sim-funded payouts, but the entire reason that people go into the prop firm business is to make money off of successful day traders. If they were baddies themselves, they'd trade their own funds. They're recruiting baddies to trade their trading funds under a strict, watchful eye, because that's a win-win for both the trader and the firm when they're successful. They just also found out that they can make even more money targeting the 90% or whatever of us don't actually make it. And y'all, it starts with a $100 gamble here or there on these little prop accounts. And then before you know it, some of these folks are spending thousands every month. And that's where the real money is in the prop firm business, and why so many of these prop firms pop up who never really put folks out into live funds. They don't have to get rich off of not trading, so why bother? That's why it feels like a scam. But what do you think? Comment and let me know if you still think that prop firms really sound too good to be true. And if prop trading, live trading, or a mix of both, like I do, is right for you at this stage in your trading. I have a playlist on prop trading if you would like to learn more, as well as a playlist on the trades that I look for in my own day trading. Subscribe if you want to join me for the next video, and check out the description for a link to get you into our Trading Ranch trading chat for free. Love you. Bye.